Let's talk brand deals and how you can get them all year round. Hi, my name is Maui and I'm a content creator who doesn't have a lot of followers or a lot of subscribers, but I've worked with huge brands on really big brand deals, and I'm gonna teach you how you can do it too if your main goal is making money from your content. The main question I always get from people is, how did you work with these huge brands and you don't have that many followers? I don't get offended by it because it is a really big opportunity and it is a blessing to be able to work with these big brands and have them notice you even if you don't have the following. So I'm gonna teach you guys how I did it and how you guys can do it too. First things first, you need to be prepared to reach out to these brands. So whatever type of content creator you are, whatever brands you're thinking of working with or your dream brands to work with, make sure that your content is already reflecting something that they might be interested in working on. So let's say you wanna work with brands like Sephora, makeup brands, Ulta. If I only see fitness content on your page, I probably won't want to work with you just because it's not aligning with them. Not saying that you can't be a fitness influencer, but if you are mainly fitness and want to work with Ulta or want to work with beauty brands, maybe show me a video about how you get ready in the morning to go to the gym, what your makeup routine is like before or after the gym, or your long lasting makeup routine that keeps you fresh throughout your workout routine. That's one way you can make sure that you're ready to reach out to these brands and they have something of interest to make sure that they want to work with you. Now that you're ready to reach out to these brands, you have enough content that shows them that you're worthy enough to work with them. I know this is going to be scary, but this is the meat of today's video. You're gonna have to pitch yourself to these brands. A lot of these brands seem huge. They seem like this big conglomerate. And a little background on me, I'm from the modeling and acting space, so I work with a lot of brands behind the scenes. And sometimes they're working in a very small office, 10 to 20 people working in the office from home, things like that. So it's not the hugest team in the world. So sometimes pitching yourself is your best guarantee to get on these brands' radars. I'm gonna teach you 3 ways that you can get on a brand's radar by simply just pitching yourself. Believe it or not, I've gotten some of my biggest brand deals and brand partnerships, sponsorships, by simply sending a DM on Instagram. And I know that sounds crazy because it's like, what, you just messaged them first? And it was literally just that. I literally just messaged these people, and I'm not saying just say, hey, I want to work with you guys. We're gonna deep dive into how you can properly message these brands so they can take you seriously a little bit later in this video. But first things first, you can just message these brands. We are living in a completely new era of social media. And yes, we're still getting accustomed to it, but it's still very, very new and in the beginning stages. So we are in a new era where you have constant access to these brands. You can DM them. You have them on Instagram. So many different platforms that you can reach out to them on. You can tag them in your photos. This is a completely new era of communication that we're in, and you need to use it to your advantage. My first step to pitching to brands, or first option, is going to be either sending a DM or a message on some social media platform, specifically the social media platform that you see that the brand uses the most, you see that the brand has the most engagement on, and that you know that you will be posting on that platform as well. That is one big way that you can reach out to these brands. It's gonna sound super old school and salesy, but you can send out a cold email. You'd be surprised how far I've gotten in this industry by simply sending out an email, a rogue email to an email address. And the hard part is out of the way. Before, you needed to know someone who knew someone who knew someone's hairdresser, who knew someone's assistant to even get an email or a phone number. Now these brands have an email directly in their bios. They have an email button on their Instagram pages, and it's so easy to send out an email because you are reducing the work for these brands. Let me tell you, they don't want to spend hours scouring the internet, scouring hashtags, scouring algorithms to find potential people to work with. If you do half of the work for them and reach out and say, hey, I'm here, I make this kind of content, I can make great content for you, let's see how we can work together. That is half of the work done for them, and they will be so grateful for it. Don't sleep on sending out a cold email. Half of the time you might not get a response, but out of the 10 emails that you send, that one email response can change your entire life. My third option to pitch yourself, and this is one of my favorite options, is to tag them in the already amazing content that you're posting. If you made a day in the life, you made my workout routine video, you made this cooking video, tag the brands that you are using. These people are literally working on social media, seeing who's using their brands. If they see an amazing video that you made and that their brand is already featured in it, they are going to be so excited. When I first started my content journey, I was posting a lot on Instagram and just tagging the brands I was wearing. If I had a dress on from this brand, I'm sure going to tag them. If I was wearing special earrings or whatever, I was going to tag the brand that I was wearing because I wanted to get on these radars. And I kid you not, so many brands have seen me just tag them in my videos, in my photos, and been like, I absolutely love this. I've had big brands like Nike say, I love this photo. We want to feature it in a magazine. I only had less than 1,000 followers at that time. Do you know how big that brand is? That's huge. I've had big jewelry brands say, oh my goodness, you're wearing X, Y, and Z from our collection. Can we post this on our page? Give you all the rights, whatever, whatever. And that's just one way you can get in the door. All you need is to get into that door, create that relationship with the brand, and who knows what that might turn into in the future. So don't sleep on tagging those brands. You're already doing the work. You're already making great content. So why not put yourself on their radar so they know, like, hey, this creator made an amazing video. She has amazing engagement. Or even if you don't have a big following like I didn't at the time and still really don't have a huge following, they're seeing like, oh my goodness, this creator makes amazing content. How can we work with her? How can we get her to feature our products in their videos? Sometimes I'll get PR from brands and I'm like, how did they even find me? I tagged them in this one video and they'll send me boxes of their things because they want me to include it in my videos. And that alone is like, hey, thank you so much. I would love to get on the team. I would love to talk about a brand partnership. So now that is going to lead me into our next segment, into how to actually send out a pitch email and what you can include in that email or that DM. If you're enjoying this video so far, thank you so much for sticking around. It would mean the world to me if you'd hit that subscribe button or leave a white heart in the comments so I know that you made it this far in the video. Let's get back into pitching to these brands. So I know it can seem a little nerve-wracking to message these big brands in the beauty space, in the fitness space, in the cooking space, whatever type of creator you are. Do not be intimidated by these big brands with all of these followers. Half of the time, it's someone just like you, just like me, working these accounts, managing their social media for them. So don't be afraid to, one, message these people, and then two, before we start, don't be afraid if you don't get a response or don't get the response that you're looking for. Sometimes in this industry, you're gonna have to work a little bit hard, but if you're watching this video, that lets me know that you're serious about working with brands and expanding your partnerships and sponsorships all around. So this isn't going to be a 1-week journey for you. This is something that you're going to be doing long term and hopefully grow from this. So if you don't get a quick turnaround, do not be discouraged. But these are things that have helped me work with huge brands like Sephora, Carol's Daughter, Nike, Icing Jewelry, you name it. I worked with so many brands from simply just sending out a message and introducing myself. The first thing that you're not going to do in this message or email to brands is just say, hey, how can I get PR? That's not gonna cut it. If somebody texted your phone and just asked for free stuff, you wouldn't like it either. So you're not gonna just say, hey, I wanted X, Y, and Z. We're gonna have to add some depth in there. The second thing that you're not going to do is, hey, I just wanna work with you. How can I work with you? Not gonna cut it. Number 3, just sending out a rogue email saying, I wanna collaborate with the brand, how can we collaborate? We're gonna have to add some depth into our email so these people know that you're serious and that this is an actual partnership that you're looking for. What you should be doing is introducing yourself. Think about if somebody wanted to work with you and they just didn't introduce themselves. That's 1, rude. 2, how am I supposed to know who you are? 3, how am I supposed to take you seriously? Introduce yourself, tell them who you are, and give them background on what type of creator you are as well. Give them examples of your content. Give them example of things that you've done in the past and show how much you can be of value to this brand. You're not going to just send an email and say, hey, I want to work with you. Rather, you can say, hey, my name is, I have X, Y, and Z followers, or these are my primary platforms. I make this kind of content. and then keep it going from there. One of my favorite things to do is to give as much detail as possible, giving them links. If you have a portfolio, that's amazing. If you have a media kit, that's extra amazing. If you want tips on how you can make a media kit, let me know. I have some short form content on TikTok that you can check out, but I can make a long form video on YouTube as well if you want to know how you can make a media kit and a strong media kit to get brand deals. Include everything. My name is, I make this kind of content. These are the platforms that I'm primarily on. If you make UGC content, you can include that as well. Tell them what your follower count is. Tell them what your engagement is like. You can go into certain platforms and just type in what my engagement is. You can go on Google and type in engagement calculator for Instagram or YouTube, and there'll be a lot of calculators there. And then you can spit in your at name and they'll give you what your engagement is like. So that is already taking away half of the work for you. Give them all this information so they don't have to do the work themselves. Me personally, when I get an email, if you give me everything that I need and I don't have to ask you questions, I don't have to do the work. Everybody wants to do less work in this day and age. So just do the work for them and give them all the information and background they might need on you from the beginning. Once you give them this information, give them examples of the amazing content that you already made. Show them the engagement that you got. Show them how much quality and how good your work is. So this just makes it so much easier for the brand to be like, hey, I actually love that video. How can we get a video like that for our brand? And like I said, do not be discouraged about these brands if you don't get a response or you don't get the response you were hoping for. The worst these brands can say to you is no or not respond at all. And you've been through a lot worse in life than getting no as an answer. Like I said before, it only takes 1 out of the 10 DMs or emails that you send for your life to change completely. My life has completely changed from social media, and I know your life can completely change from social media. There is so much room in this industry for us to grow, and I know it seems like there's so many creators out there, but there aren't as many creators out there doing exactly what you do and the way that you do it. So do not count yourself out. There is so much room in this industry for all of us to grow, and I know you're gonna do so amazing at it. So if you made it this far in this video, thank you so much. If there are any topics or anything that you'd like me to deep dive into, please let me know. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and I will see you guys in the next video.